you like to run away sometime? Follow the blue sunny day, be mine. Follow the blue skies up ahead, don't you wait. Follow the blue skies up ahead, don't hesitate. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunrise.
Now that is the kind of view you want when you're doing the washing up, really.
Yup.
We stayed one night in Liechtenstein. It was pretty. I don't know what else to say about that, really.
There were mountains.
There were mountains. Nice. It was nice. We decided to stop there because it's a bit of a novelty.
We wanted to stop in every country that we visited.
Yeah.
First to hike.
So this is Austria. We've just bought our 10-day vignette for the Austrian motorways, and this is our first taste of an Austrian motorway.
And it's a very nice road surface.
Is it?
Yes.
Good.
So the route that we took through Austria actually took us a little bit into Germany as well. The fastest way between Innsbruck and Salzburg is the motorway, and that cuts into just the furthest south bit of Germany.
That wasn't nice. We were just driving to find a place to stay, and we've gone on a wild goose chase just trying to find like place after place after place, and they've all been like, there's been something wrong with every place. And we're in Germany, so it's a bit different here. It doesn't seem as easy to just stay somewhere, and all of the ones we'd looked up seemed to say online that you could stay there, but when we got there was like nothing to say we could stay there. So, but we're in one that does say that motorhomes can stay here, but you have to pay €5, and it's the area is actually cordoned off, and the paying machines are bagged up. So it looks like, yeah, I don't know.
The joys of out-of-season motorhoming,
Yeah,
I guess.
But yeah, it's dark outside. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but we both got really stressed out. So we need to have some tea now and settle down and relax, because I think it's safe to stay here.
Yeah, I agree.
So we've had a bit of a morning. We stopped overnight in Germany, and then the plan was to just drive on to Salzburg in the morning, park in Salzburg, and then have a nice day there, and then drive on to a campsite later. Turned out parking in Salzburg was not easy.
Much harder than we thought it would be.
Steve was driving, and we both got really stressed out trying to find a parking space, and we got really lost and really confused, and basically that's that's what we've seen of Salzburg so far.
So in the end we drove to the campsite that we were going to stay, which actually was a car park, and got the train into Salzburg.
Do, a day, a female day, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself, far, a longer way to run. So, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow, so. Tea, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to do, oh, oh, oh.
Beautiful. We were just about to leave, and we saw this most amazing sight. from our cab window. These clouds rolling over the mountains and sort of sunlight shining through them.
And we thought we can't miss that.
Exactly. We thought that would make the best time lapse. So we're just setting up a time lapse. I've decided to just delay leaving for about an hour so that we can try and capture it.
So every 2 seconds.
Yep.
And it is 10 to 10 now. We'll stop it at 10 to 11.
Lovely.
Lovely.
As we headed south through Austria, we saw snow on the mountains, and that was our first proper glimpse of snow relatively close up. And the higher we climbed into the mountains, the closer to the level of the snow we got. I mean, I was excited, I love snow, but from a driving point of view, we were quite nervous.
That is snow at our level.
Our third stop in Austria was also our last stop. We found a campsite that was next to a lake, but in a very mountainous area, and we had a very, very windy night that got us a bit nervous.
Basically, it was the apocalypse.
It felt a bit like that at the time.
We were on a campsite where we were the only people staying on the campsite. We battened down the hatches for the night, and then the wind picked up, and we thought we were going to take off.
And in the middle of the night, we also heard what sounded like an air raid siren, so that was a bit nerve-wracking. In the morning, it was still windy, but it was a lot calmer than it had been in the night, and everything felt a lot less dramatic.
Yeah, but I think in the moment we'd experienced the really windy time in the UK just before we left, and it was windier than that.
After Austria, we headed down into Slovenia,
where our destination was Ljubljana.
We planned to help out on a project in Ljubljana because we had a connection with somebody who works there. How does Slovenia feel so far, Steve?
Just like Austria.
Yeah.
No different at all in terms of road surface or anything like that, just that the signs are in a different language. Which is kind of cool. It's very pretty so far.
Yep.
Nice bit of side wind.
So,
you do realise that just because we've got a postcard here doesn't mean that people will actually believe that we're in Slovenia, because we've got the curtains drawn and we could be anywhere.
we've basically got a lot of updating to do. We've spent the last, is it 5 days?
It's Friday now and we arrived on Monday.
Yeah, so Friday now, since Monday, we haven't done any filming at all. And we've been spending time in Slovenia.
Ljubljana.
In Ljubljana. We've been involved in a project working with
An organisation called Zvesh.
which works with students in Ljubljana.
It works to basically encourage open discussion and creative and critical reading of the Bible, basically. And this week was a week where they had lots of events on, so we were helping out publicising them, basically.
It was so much fun, and everybody is working so hard on that team.
We did all sorts of things. So we weren't the only visitors. There were a couple of Danish guys as well, Karsten and Lars, and they were cracking guys. And basically the theme of the week, the title of the week was Kje Bog, which isn't where is the toilet in Slovenian, as I first thought. I was like, it's a bit weird. It's where is God, and the idea was that there'll be a series of events just kind of exploring that. So where's God in suffering, which is kind of a big question that affects everyone. Where's God in creativity and music?
So they had a series of talks and workshops and a concert.
Yep.
That just held for the students, and we got to go along to them all, which was great.
Yeah. To publicise these events, we one of the Danes dressed up as a representation of God, so white hair, white beard, white
stereotypical
stereotypical, yeah,
representation.
And was wandering around the city streets of Ljubljana.
This guy Carsten,
he's a legend.
Guy from Denmark. He is, yeah, he's like fearless. So you look at me and Steve, and we just don't do confrontation very well at all.
We don't do walking up to random strangers and starting a conversation.
This guy just sort of walks up and says, and he's playing the character of stereotypical God, and he's like, "Hello, welcome, my children.
You're looking so wonderful today. Isn't today such a beautiful day? Where am I?"
He's fantastic, and
yeah.
he just encouraged everyone,
Yeah.
and at the same time he was advertising the events that they were holding. So he was saying, you should come along to this evening if you're interested, and giving out flyers to people. And so was Lars, who's the other Danish guy, and he again would just go up to anyone and start a conversation with them, and we were totally inspired by those two guys, because we just don't have that kind of confidence to go up and talk to anyone.
No.
But we found that we could be useful in other ways in this project, and
we took photos, and they could then go on the Facebook page, and people could then get to the Facebook page.
Yeah. The second talk you absolutely loved, didn't you?
It was Swedish philosopher Stefan Gustafsson, who has before been on, I think he's been on panels with Richard Dawkins.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. He's got an amazing mind.
So he uses his intellect to reason and to explore the kind of theoretical side and the logic of the existence of God and where God is in things like suffering. And yeah, it was great to kind of grapple with some of the ideas, and it's often good to break down things back to basics and go, okay, actually, why do I believe what I believe? For me, because I've got a computer science background, because I'm quite mathematical in my thinking, I need logic. I accept that there comes a point that I do have to make a leap of faith, but sometimes I just fall back on the reasoning. And I just found it absolutely fascinating and really stimulating for my mind.
I found it fascinating as well, but there gets to a point with apologetics where I just go, nah, I have faith. I don't need to reason. But I appreciate that there are people out there who are willing to reason their way to having faith in God, as well as people who just say, I have faith.
The kind of second half of the week, so the Wednesday and Thursday events, were a guy called Andy Mayo, who is a fantastic musician.
He is an amazing guitarist.
Massively talented.
And he wrote some really interesting songs. He did this gig at a student bar.
This broken man, he stands before a billboard. He stares at plastic perfection, beauty, life out. You've thrown your arms open wide. You brought me close, satisfied. You've broken my prison. You led me to freedom across the great divide. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
And then yesterday he did a workshop on where is God in creativity, just basically looking at
to be creative and
how to nurture that creativity
that's
as well.
Exactly what it was about. So we both found that really useful as well. I mean, I know it was for the students, but we got a lot out of it. And then the team has been amazing. We've stayed with a lovely couple called Lee and Leon, and they sort of in charge in a way of that particular team that are working in Ljubljana, and they're both Aussie, and just amazing hospitality. They've let us stay in their backyard like for the whole week, and they've had loads of other people staying at their house as well at the same time. They've let us use their shower, their electricity, their washing machine, us, and they've just been really kind. And really friendly. And then there's Simon, John, and Lydia, who were the rest of the team, and they.
Simon's a Brit. Lydia is a very Welsh girl, absolutely lovely, and John is an American. Quite a. He's amazingly sarcastic for an American.
You see, I didn't get that. I just thought he was being serious. You got the sarcasm.
No. He's a great character. Yeah, I really appreciated. I really appreciated the wit and.
But they're all great people, and we've really enjoyed working with them. And rather amazingly and very coincidentally, it turns out that Lydia is actually the sister of somebody that I already know, who I've met at uni, who works for the same organisation. And I just happened to find out by accident because she's from North Wales, and not many people are from North Wales because it's quite small. And so I asked her if she knew this girl that I knew, and she was like, "Yeah, she's my sister." And I thought, brilliant. But it's just like the weirdest place to meet somebody that you know.
You're going to Slovenia.
In the middle of Slovenia.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. So we're buzzing. We've moved on this afternoon from that project, and we're now in a different part of Slovenia in
Pachui or Pachu. Pachu. I don't know.
Something like that.
It's up north-east-ish, and then the idea is that we'll spend a couple of days here for Kiri's birthday. We've had a bit of a mare in terms of working out how we're going to get to Serbia.
A bit of a mare, oh yeah. We had a mare, yeah.
What do you think I was saying?
What's a mare?
A mare, a nightmare.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
No, I heard of it. Oh, okay.
We've had a bit of a mare.
Mare.
Yeah, last night we decided to sit down and plan the next few days in terms of where we were going to travel to.
Across to Serbia.
And our plan was to go down the Croatian coast for a bit and enjoy that for my birthday, spend a few days there, and then drive across Croatia into Serbia. We looked at campsites and motorhome stops in Croatia, and there's virtually none. There's loads on the coast, but hardly any of them are open because it's out of season. And in Croatia, you can't wild camp. It's
you can't just
forbidden.
stop anywhere.
So we gradually sort of changed the plan until we just thought, you know, it turned into we don't have a choice. We stay here, then we have to stay here. We think we've got one lined up so we're going to stay here another night, and then we think we've got one lined up for Croatia, in between Zagreb and Belgrade. Basically, we're sort of skipping through Croatia.
Yeah.
That's the new plan. Sadly, because I think the Croatian coast is supposed to be amazing.
We'll have to come back.
I really want to go and see it.
We really will have to come back.
I don't think it's supposed to happen this time.
No.
So hopefully in Serbia in the next few days. So we're just leaving the campsite at Pachui and driving out of Slovenia today and into Croatia and almost to the Serbian border. Closer to Serbia than we thought it was, though, the place that we're aiming to stay tonight. So
we've got a long drive ahead of us.
We have got a long drive. So we were on a motorway, and then all of a sudden it turned into this. Oh, watch the ramp! Oh!
Follow the blue skies up ahead, don't you wait. Follow the blue skies up ahead, the sunrise. Watch the sunrise.
Electric. Ich liebe den Zug. J'adore le train. Trains. It's where it's at.